But one game I'm thinking because, well, you're a Bears fan. I don't know if you thought the Bears would win, was going to keep it this close. They had every chance to win that freaking game.
Let me tell you exactly what happened. Packers took the opening drive all the way down and scored. I I put on Facebook, switching over to the Ravens game. This one's over. People are like, no, wait, hang in there, this and that. I mean, I was going back and forth, and then the Bears were in the game,
Yeah,
and they looked different. They looked how most people expected them to look coming into the season. Caleb was hitting receivers, guys were open. Um, they ran the ball a little bit. The one play on the pitch on the toss left, where the lineman swung out and blew up that, I don't know, was it a cornerback or safety? I mean, that's what Bears fans want: physicality. Like,
yeah.
yes, blow his ass up. And then DeAndre Swift took it to the house. I was feeling good about it, but I think they were up 10-7. They were down and they couldn't get it in. They ended up having to kick a field goal. I was like, I think that's going to come back to hurt us. And it did. If they go up 17-7, um, the game's different. They have a larger lead. But instead, Packers go down, they score, and they take the lead 14-13. But overall, Caleb Williams looked like a totally different player. I
And
think he
why?
was
Because they
snagged.
said they were going to have different play calling this time.
Well, they did have a different play caller, but he was getting the ball out. And if he wasn't getting the ball out, he was taking off. He had 70 yards rushing.
Man, well, we know he can run the ball and he can do that sneaky running because of, with a rookie, and he struggled earlier and he's been struggling recently. So I think going into this game, they probably felt they can just go man to man with him and not really, pay too much attention to him. But I guess with their backs turned, he was able to get those chunk yards running the ball and he was throwing
Mhm.
effectively. He didn't get a
Yeah.
touchdown. Better yet, he didn't even throw an interception in this game. And they had every way to win this game. A blocked field goal was all that kept them from winning.
So let me tell you, it's like every week a new stat comes out. Again, I don't know if it's a stat or it's just data. I mentioned last week the Bears hadn't scored a touchdown in 24 drives. I've never heard that about a team before. That's new to me. The Bears haven't won on the road on a Sunday since 2021. That's something I haven't heard before. This morning on the way to work, on my drive to work, they said since Eberflus has taken over the Bears, there were 5 games, not counting the Packers. Packers games makes it 6, where their win percentage was over 90%, and they lost all 5 games, all 6 games. They didn't do the math yet, but the 5 games that they were over 90% and lost, the odds were 68 million to 1.
Play the
68
lottery.
million to 1. Like, it's almost impossible for them to lose all 5 of those games. One game, 2 games, something, bad break here, a bad break there, but you're over 90% to win and you somehow lose. That's the mark of a bad coach. When you consistently lose games you're supposed to win, and you
Yeah.
never beat teams that you're not supposed to beat. You always lose those games. That's a bad coach. I don't know why we still got Eberflus,
So
Lose,
so
lose.
in light of what just happened this past Sunday against their hated rival, the Green Bay Packers, do you see things getting better, at least going forward for the rest of the season? Even though there's a much harder schedule ahead than what's behind them. Earlier this season, they had an easier schedule. Now it's just as hard as it gets. With Detroit being as good as they are right now, it looks like, well, they'll be hard pressed to do anything against them, home or away.
Yeah, so they go to Minnesota this week. I'm not expecting a victory for one, and then I don't know what to expect. They had the new OC, and so they can throw different things at the Packers that they weren't ready for. But now the Vikings have tape, so they can
Yeah.
prepare for whatever the Bears did last week. So now, what are they going to do different? because if the Vikings are taking away all the short routes, and maybe they got a spy or they're playing zone, not so much man, Caleb's not going to run for his 15, 18, 19-yard runs anymore. So I don't know. I'm not the
But
OC,
but
but
maybe he's getting better with a new OC or someone else calling the plays and where he's more comfortable because even without the touchdowns or interception, the numbers at least look like he had a game of progress as opposed to the previous games he's had.
yeah. So he had games like against the Jaguars, the games they won where he had a couple touchdowns. But I think this was his best game that he played, even though he didn't get a touchdown pass. Especially that last drive. They got sacked on first down and on second down. It was third and 19. And you're thinking, oh man, incomplete pass, or they're gonna get it, something short for 5 yards. It's gonna be fourth and 16 or whatever. But he scrambled and hit Roma Dunze, and he threw him a bullet too. And he got caught like or tackled like 3 yards short of the first down. So fourth down was manageable. And he made a great throw on fourth down. They needed another play. He made a good back shoulder throw to Keenan Allen. Like he drove him down, and everyone's upset. They got into field goal position. I think there was 40 plus seconds left after they ran one play, and they should have ran another play. They had a timeout, but he chose not to. And my
Just to get
thing is,
closer.
yeah, they went for it on fourth down. I think three times in that game. One in the third quarter when they didn't have to. But Caleb was like, "Let's go for it. Let's go." He convinced Eberflus we're gonna go for it, and they got it. So why are you gonna be aggressive the whole game and then get conservative with 40 seconds left?
Play not to
Well,
lose.
they asked him, "Why didn't you run another play?" Oh, well, they had the box stacked. I didn't want to risk a fumble. So why not call play action and take a shot downfield? They got everybody in the box. Take a shot downfield. If it's incomplete, stop clocks. You run the play, you run the next play, then you kick the field goal. You call
Even a quick
timeout after
slant.
you run. But no, it just let the time run down, call timeout with 3 seconds, get the field goal block.
Well, it looks like that's how it's been going for them so far this season. It started off fairly
But
promising.
here's another stat. The the chances of them fumbling on another play was 0.046%. I mean, you've been running the ball all game. You don't have a fumble, but you don't want to run it one more time because you might fumble. You might get sacked. You might fumble the snap. Rex Grossman did in the Super Bowl
This is
twice.
the this is the
I'm
age
just,
of the
I'm just saying,
analytics.
come on, man. You, that's what I'm saying. The Bears have no identity. Eberflus has no identity. If it's hardball, John Harbaugh, fourth down. If it's fourth and two, fourth and
He's
three,
going.
they're going for it. You
Hmm.
can't. You got to be consistent. Well, it's like I used to play blackjack a lot, and I would see people hit a 16 and not hit a 16 sometimes if the dealer was showing the face card. I'm like, you're chasing. You got to be consistent. You're supposed to hit because your 16 is going to lose most of the time when he flips
Yep.
that 7 over. You hit every time on 16 if the dealer's showing 10 and not, oh, I think he's going to bust this time. No, man, you got to play consistent. That's the only way you win at blackjack. Same thing in football. You can't be aggressive, 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 and then at the end, oh, we might fumble. Come on, man.